Look at here. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. This is For the Grown Folks Podcast. You got your host, Dez, aka Mr. Fofo in this bitch, ready to talk my shit again. And on the back end,
yes, sir. You got Uncle Mike in the building, Shady McGrady, one more time, one more again.
Yes, sir. We back in the building, man. And look, we got a powerful episode for you guys today, man. We got two young ladies that's gonna talk their shit with us, man. We're gonna go into more details later on, but man, let's go ahead and introduce our guests on the episode, man. Look, we got Graham family this thing, Itty Bitty.
You got KJ Stan on Twitter, and you got Purely Aesthetic Balance on. I messed that up. Purely Aesthetic. You know what?
Ain't no double text for you.
Purely Balanced Aesthetics on Instagram. There we go.
And then we got our second guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself for us. It's Ellie, right?
No, my name is Lydia. You can call me Lydia, and you can find me on Instagram. It looks like Lydia.
My bad. I was looking at the corner.
It's okay. Players mess up.
You see, I did.
Yeah, we all do.
I know I fucked. I was late than a bitch to this session. Shit.
I'm like, if y'all was gonna say nothing, you could have just said that. You know, black people ain't never on time.
Right.
I take that.
Yeah, we'll eat that lick. We'll eat that lick together.
But yeah, though, look, like I said, we got a powerful episode for you guys today, man. Look, I'm excited. Thank you guys for actually coming on and talk that shit with us. But look, we are actually discussing entrepreneurs. We actually just focusing on women, stepping that game up, bossing up, and it's a lot of y'all representing, bro, for real. So let's go ahead and just dive into it. Can y'all just go ahead? It doesn't matter who goes first. Y'all just kind of just break down, exactly what you do, you started. Just kind of give little details on your business.
Okay. I'll go ahead. So basically, I am a vintage shop curator. So basically, I handpick vintage items, do personal shopping, and I sell them. But alongside of that, I also upcycle fashion. So things that I find, I can like redesign them and make something else. And alongside that, I just design clothing in general. So I do a little bit of anything related to fashion. So my page is slowly becoming not just clothing, it's becoming an experience of anything that looks like me. So from however I will wear outfits. So like if I would get a shirt, it's gonna be a whole, how I would design that to make a whole complete look from head to toe. Sunglasses, the shirt, the pants, the shoes, the purse, accessories, just the whole experience. So basically that's what I do. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 years.
Full drip.
That sounds like because Mike, I was telling you about because before we actually started finding people for this episode, I got a partner that actually does the same thing, but she's more, hers is focused on vintage clothing. Mm-hmm. I find out those old, HBCU homecoming shirts and all that. Like, she sold a Martin shirt, like them old Martin shirts.
Man.
Like $80, $100. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yes,
that's a small market, huh?
Actually, no. Actually, if you look into when you think about a reseller, a lot of people think about like just automatically kind of go to shoes because that's like the big reselling game now. But just the whole reselling industry in general, if you look into it over the next 10 years, it will be a multi-million to like $1 billion industry, just reselling. So people don't think like, oh, nobody would want old clothes, but the way I look at clothes, they're like collector's items. Like people collect, I don't know, baseball cards, or some people collect like, I don't know what other collector's items I can think of, like, action figures or stuff like that. I collect clothes.
People collect clothes. Nintendo, Sega, and all that.
Yes.
Video games, video tapes.
So for me, it's clothing. So when I go into thrift stores and I find something, and to somebody it may look like nothing, but when I go look up the designers and look at the material and all of that stuff, I have found blazers for $10. And when I look up the designer, it's like a $500 blazer that somebody just
said, I'm through.
Didn't want no
You
more.
can have it.
yes.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
It's
Yes.
crazy.
I got more questions for you. Look, let's go.
Okay.
Because like they
I
say,
have
man,
a question
more
too. So
questions. Yeah, let's go ahead and let Itty Bitty get her shine on. What's good? Tell us
Russ,
about
stop calling me itty bitty. I I am a new esthetician in the field. I just graduated in March. My business is called Purely Balanced Aesthetics. It deals with healthcare, not healthcare, like health skincare, beauty and waxing and so forth. I seen somebody on Snapchat, this girl actually, and I'm like, okay, well, let me get into this field real quick. Let me see if I can do it. During the summertime, I searched up schools around my area and I just enrolled in it. I had my ups and downs with it. Came January, it was like a huge bump. Like I wanted to quit, I wanted to give up and everything. Like I had a teacher that checked on me. She was like, "So what you gonna do, Fanny, or woo up the bim and everything like that?" I'm like, you know what? I'm just continue going through it. I put an LLC on it and I'm taking off with it. Like I have to at this point. It was like a totally different field for me because I jumped from field to field since college. And this is like just something completely new. And I actually have an interest in it. And I actually like doing it. So it's like, it's just crazy. I done started the Facebook business page, the Instagram. I done revamped everything. And it's just like, it's slow, but it's going. So I can't complain about that at all.
So how long has it been active? Like how long has
It's actually been active since I want to say January, February, but I actually just stamped it last month to make it official.
For sure.
Okay. Let's get that up. So does it like focus just on like, is it just a specific gender? Like is it focusing on female, like female products, or it's like both ways, man?
No, it's for men and women. Actually, I'm starting to add like services on for men. I've done a couple of Brazilians. You probably heard of it. If
No.
not, then a Brazilian.
Elaborate.
Yeah, a Brazilian is a men's Brazilian wax. Yeah, it's a men's Brazilian wax. Like I've done a couple of those. I had a couple of people that's like, "No, I can't do this. I quit. I'll come back and everything." But yeah, I'm adding that in for them, the beard face shoes to the face shoes. So yeah, it's for men and women actually.
I felt like that too. But
Really?
yeah, I felt like that too. But that lady wouldn't let me get up off that table, man. She said you gonna thug through this. I said, no, I
I
don't
be trying
want
to do that, but then I don't be trying
Yeah.
to pressure people into doing something that they don't want to do. I'm like, all right, well, we can reschedule. You can come back. If not, it is what it is.
Wait a minute, Mike, how long you been doing this shit, nigga?
I got one on my birthday, G.
You should try this.
So,
No.
I got one. you ain't rocking with it, G. Treat yourself.
yeah, you got to.
Exactly.
What they call that shit? The scope, the scope, little whatever the little clip. Like cut my shit bald, so I don't need no.
That's
Oh,
why
the
you
man,
got
the
ingrowns and
manscaping.
everything
Yeah.
started.
Man,
The man's yeah, this, yeah.
Hey, the helicopter hit different when it's bald, G. That's
Nah, for real though.
The what?
Disregard.
Okay.
We're gonna strike that. We're gonna strike that from the record. Nah, but
Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Lydia, I got a question for you.
Okay.
With, I guess you could say parts of the thrift, I guess you would say the thrifting culture being gentrified. Like, does that affect you at all?
Okay, I'm so glad that you asked me this because, okay, when you say gentrified, what do you mean? Do you mean by more white people thrifting, or do you mean by just the popularity of it in general? People are doing it because it's trendy.
I would say the trendy part, but also rich people doing it.
Okay.
Because we all know the point of thrifting is to find nice looking clothes that are inexpensive. So when rich people get a hold to it and they, yank the price up by 100, and then they try to resell it, it's kind of like, well, what's the point of thrifting if you're gonna do that,
Okay. this is what I say today, because I have seen this conversation on Twitter and I have had conversations with people in person about this. Actually, a guy, he like didn't understand what I was doing because basically he grew up poor. And so his perspective was like, I went to thrift stores when I was a child because we couldn't afford clothing. And now people are just going in there and like reselling it. But a lot of people have an argument. They're like, okay, well, if you go in there and let's say I go in Goodwill and buy something. Well, I feel like the issue doesn't really start with the person that's going in the thrift store. The issue really starts with the thrift store because Goodwill gets clothes donated to them. So if the purpose of a thrift store in general is to feed people who are to clothe people who are less fortunate, why is there a price tag on the clothing in general if you want to clothe people who can't afford these clothes anyway? I have walked into Goodwill and I have seen a coat for $100 already. So is it really the people that's going in there doing this, or is it the capitalism in general of it? And then Goodwill is like, hey, I can make a coin here too. So why am I going to let people come in here and get this for affordable prices when people are going to come in here anyways? Secondly, my next part, I'm just so glad you asked me this.
You good.
Okay.
Definitely good.
let that roll.
Because I need to know myself too. Because
let that roll. Give out the game.
That good comment, bro. That's some real shit. Cause I used to go up in them like, y'all get free clothes.
Hell yeah.
But the thing is,
inflation like a bitch. Yeah.
Yes.
in Chicago, they still highlight that. I'm like, dang, this is
yes,
why y'all charging this much?
It's expensive. So secondly, my next point about that is, okay, everyone wants to be like so woke, which I think is beautiful. And everyone's like, the environment. So if you're so concerned about the environment, then you should want people to go in thrift stores because it's going around and around. You know how many clothes fill up landfills, how many pounds of clothing fill up landmines every year with just people who just throw clothing and furniture. Basically, if you donate it, it's not a detriment to the environment. It's like people are always going to donate clothes. There's never going to be a shortage. If I go in Goodwill and buy all the clothes, guess what? They have tons and tons and tons of already donated clothes in the bag. It's not like if I go in there and buy someone else is going to be shorted. There's no shortage of clothes. There's thousands of clothes. And if you don't go to Goodwill, what people don't know is a lot of places you can go and buy vintage clothes wholesale. You can buy old clothes by crates. So don't tell me if I go in Goodwill and buy clothes, someone else is being shorted. They're not, because big distribution centers, big vintage thrift stores, they're just buying clothes in crates. It's not even going to Goodwill. It's like a never-ending supply of old clothes. Last point, I'm gonna wrap it on up, Mike.
You good.
You definitely good.
Definitely educating right now.
So my last point is the point about upping the price. Okay, am I really upping the price, or am I really just getting compensated for my service? I drove my gas to the thrift store. I took my time, walked around the thrift store, picked through dirty, musty clothes that you didn't want to look through, which is fine because guess what? I'm me and I'm doing it and I love to do it. Then I went home and washed those clothes for you. Then if you're a business like me, I pressed them, I modeled them, I edited my photos, I uploaded it to a website, and I shipped it to you for free shipping. So did I really just overcharge you, or did I charge you for my service? Because it's a business and my time is money and money is valuable, and so is my time. And that's all I got to say.
And that's fair. And there you have it. And there you have it.
That's out of person.
Definitely did.
I didn't even know you could buy clothes in bulk like that at Goodwill.
You can.
I didn't either.
You can do Goodwill, but there's like vintage wholesalers where if you want, like, say you like Coogee sweaters, you can go to a vintage wholesaler and be like, hey, I want to buy 400 pounds of Coogee sweaters or Coogee-like sweaters. And they will pull from wherever there are millions of pounds of clothing, straight Coogee sweaters, and ship it to you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, capitalism is
Never knew that.
Capitalism runs America, bro. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right if the almighty dollar wasn't put first.
So,
But
I got
go
I got
ahead.
a question. So this is for both of y'all. Can y'all just kind of give me some examples of losses that you might have taken, you know, actually going into business for yourself? You know, because you know that actually stops a lot of people. You know, we're just gonna focus on women. You know, a lot of women may want to, you know, jump in and, you know, start their own business, work for themselves. Because a lot of people are tired of working for others, you know, and they might be scared of taking a loss. Like having a 9-to-5, that's guaranteed money. You know how much money you're gonna make every 2 weeks. If you get paid weekly, you know how much tax is gonna be taken out. And you don't have to worry like, okay, am I gonna make money this week? Am I gonna make money, you know, next month? Like you gotta worry about shit slow. Can y'all just kind of give me some examples, some losses that you might have taken and how you bounce back from it?
Go ahead, Lydia.
You want me to go? Okay, I'll just keep on, girl. I feel like with any business in the beginning, it's just unrealistic to think that you just about to be making money. I feel like in the beginning of every business, you're about to lose some money in anything that you do. As far as this, I'll say when I first started, it was instant success. Like I remember my first day opening my shop. I think I sold out my very first day, and I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing because then I was embarrassed about what I was doing. So nobody even knew me personally knew that I was selling out of a like vintage clothes or whatever. But I sold out my first day, and then I just kept going, and then somewhere just slowed up. But you just keep going. You just got to keep going. You don't let like when things slow down, you don't just stop because it's going to be those periods. Sometimes you're going to have a surplus and sometimes it's going to be a drought, but an end goal in your mind. And it's like, that's what keeps you going. Like, okay, this is just for a season, but once I get through this, we'll be back on the rise again.
So basically what you do is just to keep yourself, like go into it knowing that there can be slow days, there can be fast days, but have some type of motivation, some type of goal, something that keeps you going, you know, just to kind of get you through those slow periods. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why were you embarrassed though?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
Because ain't shit embarrassing about making money and being talented while doing it.
No.
Everybody can't do it.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that because
something about dirty clothes. That's what I wanted. Is that like you said?
But
I mean, the thrift store, the clothes are dirty. Like that. I have to wash them before I ship them out. But I was embarrassed because basically for me to even just be here now, from me starting my business to now, I have went through a lot of things in my personal life that have, I feel, helped my business to grow, because the things that affected me personally just helped me to be able to do what it is that I'm doing with more confidence, I'll say. And so in the beginning, it was like everything that I'm doing in my life now, I've been doing since I was 11 years old, but I never did it openly. So now it's just, I'm finally getting to a point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is
period.
And you said it was a talent, but I never looked at it like it was a talent. The things that I'm good at, I just looked at it like that's just me. I didn't look at the things I'm good at as talents. So I guess I didn't like see myself as talented. I just was like, this is just what I do. But brought it to my attention. She was like, girl, when I go in their stores, I can't find shit, or I can't put stuff together the way you put it together, or I would have never thought of that. So then I was like, oh, everybody can do this.
Right.
So then it allowed me to work in my purpose better. So I just kept going, and that's why I just stopped caring. And then from there, it's like, you can't tell me nothing now. So this is what
All right. I'm about to say your product speaks for itself.
Right.
Exactly. That happened, what you gonna tell me, you know? You like what you see. That's why you on my Instagram.
Right.
With mine, since that is fairly new, I really didn't take any losses as of yet. The loss that I took was time and the money on the products that I spent because I'm study advertising. And like I said, I'm fairly new with it and my clientele is extremely low. So that was like really the big loss. A couple of weeks ago, it was personal issues that I literally had to shut down my booking scheduling for a whole month. And okay. I don't look at this as my job. It's a hobby. It's something that I like doing because my 9 to 5, I do that in 2 days and I'm free the rest of the week. So that's why I'm like, right now I didn't take a big loss with it. So it's slowly building up. So
Okay. I guess you don't want to kind of elaborate. I mean, did you already elaborate like on what type of loss? You said it was your time, right?
yeah, it was the time and the money that I'm spending on products because like with dried roses and like dried essentials and stuff, like you can't have them sitting out for you can't have them really sitting out for too long and everything because they'll end up getting everything have an expiration date on it. So I can't sit here and put in an essential oil that I'm using, or I can't sit here and put it in a mask. So that's a little loss, but nothing really too major.
Is that really a loss or an investment though? Because it's still investment in your business and in yourself and in your brand. So it's really like one of those things that's gonna pay you back on the back end, you know?
I would say it's like a borderline because again, I have to reorder the product and then see if that one to ship out and see if that one to take off. And then it's constantly doing that. Like earlier today, because I'm making soaps now. So when I was doing that earlier today and everything, it's kind of expensive because I buy things by the bulks and not like one by one.
Yeah, you gotta specialize in all of that.
I would think that would be a loss though, son. Like
what will be?
Like just using it, like, you know, like you say, buying products and not being expiring, not being able to sell it, like
having to shut down for a month.
You know, it's like, you know, with me, you know, I'm in the food business now. You know, if I, you know, make a whole bunch of food expecting to sell this amount of plates and I don't reach that amount, I cook that I gotta throw away. No, I gotta eat. Like shit, I made it help.
Yeah, it's like that too. So yeah,
it nourished me, but shit, I ain't get to nourish nobody else. Like,
yeah, I think more than anything, I think you having to shut down for a month. That's a huge loss. Yeah, and that's an any business.
It definitely was because I could have been advertising, I could have been building up my clientele and everything like that. And it was just like a complete silence. I'm dead. Yeah, I don't like this at all.
Yeah. Because we saw during the pandemic, man, you had a lot of huge businesses that couldn't even last for, you know, a good 30, 45, 90 days before they were shut down. You know, I know back at home, I think one of the casinos that had been around for like 30 something years ended up just shutting down. I think after maybe like the first 90 days of the pandemic, you know, but you shook back though. And that's, you know.
Yeah, and with that, you know, because you're skin, you like you hands on with the client, you're in a face or you like touching a body part. Some was cautious and everything like that. So that it was like a borderline, both a loss and an investment, if that makes sense.
For sure. But we're gonna put a bookmark right there. All right, we're gonna let the ads pay some bills real quick, and we'll be right back with the second part of that episode. Do y'all feel like that y'all kind of like, how can I say it? Because I don't want to call y'all strong Black women. That sounds so cliche. But I guess you would say intimidating when men try to approach you, like because of the things that you do in your personal life as far as work.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I can't really speak on that subject just off the strength. I've been out of the dating scene for the last 6 years. Like
but men still approach you though.
They do, but then I don't go into the whole what's your favorite color, what you do type situation.
You shut it down. Like a man try to shoot a shot and then you kind of just good. Like
I don't necessarily shut it down, but I know bullshit when I see it. So it's like, yeah, if you ain't really got nothing going on for yourself, if you not so much beneficial to me, don't waste my time. That's just I'm
I feel like we got a cosign on
I'm
the
straight
back
to the
end.
I'm straight to the point with it though. Like
Yes.
I'm straight to the point.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel like we got a cosign on the back end.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Some men do too much. Like they want to go into full depths and details. And all. Do you really care? Like, let's be honest. Do you really care what not really care, but do you genuinely care what I'm doing? If that makes sense.
If we ask the question now, we do genuinely care. I wouldn't ask shit that I don't care about.
Okay, well maybe that's you because niggas love to waste their time.
I'm not gonna sit up here and say
wasting their time. They will ask you plenty of questions. They don't give a fuck. They just
and then be so repetitive about it. And then with me, if I have a conversation with you already, don't recap the conversation because I'm gonna hit you with it. Didn't I just talk to you about this? So yeah.
Somebody hard on they niggas. Nah, but sometimes, yes, it's a yes and a no. Like, yes, sometimes we do ask y'all shit that we genuinely don't really care about.
Then why did you ask?
Some of that shit is to get to know who you are as a person.
It's called small talk. Just trying to kick off a conversation because sometimes y'all wouldn't be blah. Like y'all can't hold a conversation yourselves. For real. Like it's like you know, son, you be trying to converse, bro. Be like, yeah, okay. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Shit,
it's like keep asking open-ended questions so we can talk about this like as right. That's all conversation really is leaving the door open for the other person to reply. And some people
then you'll have those short ass answers that'll be a conversation killer. Yeah, I'm cool.
Vibe throw. Like for real.
Exactly.
For real. Lydia, what you got?
As far as being intimidating, I don't know. I don't think that I'm an intimidating person. But dating, I have not seriously, I'm pretty much like her. I haven't seriously dated in like 4 years.
Yeah. Exactly.
I when I started my business, I had just gotten out of a relationship and then I just never went back. Like,
cool.
I'm not gonna say it's because of my business why I haven't. I will say that being more invested in my business,
somebody got to be bringing something beneficial to the table. Like,
yes,
exactly.
It altered what I'm interested in. It changed what I'm interested in. And not saying that to talk to me, you gotta have some spectacular job. I'm not saying that, or you gotta have like hella shit going. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I know what I'm doing and I know the work ethic that I'm putting in to just achieve the things that I want out of life. So you have to be doing something. Like, you just can't be looking at me work because I'm looking at you and you looking at me. Like, I'm looking at you like, what you gonna do? Like, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to improve yourself. You don't want to better yourself in any aspect. So I feel like when I first, even though I haven't really dated, but I feel like dudes, for the most part, I don't know if they be telling the truth or not. You never know, but they'll be saying, I'll tell them what I do, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I like that, or whatever, something to that.
I have no knowledge or no interest in it at all.
yes. And then it's like, but for me, it's like the cutoff is really like once I started to get into them as a person, it's not so much of what I got going on. It's the lack of their interest to do anything. Now, I'm not saying all men don't have anything going on. I'm not saying that. And I do believe that certain men, you know, are trying to like better themselves, or already have their shit together. They may already have it together, but I'm just saying, I ain't met. I have not come past in my adult life with anyone who was ready to have a committed relationship. I'll put it like that.
Same here.
Someone who was serious about seriously dating, who actually had something going with themselves. And it's like, I'm not saying you got to have it all together, but we gotta be working.
We gotta be shaking, and we ain't talking about trees in the trees.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Exactly.
Having dated someone before that actually had their own business and shit like that, bro, it's definitely different from a woman that works a 9 to 5. For real.
Like, how is it different? Because I do both.
I do both too, so let me know how it's different.
No, this is what I'm saying. No, but y'all do both. Y'all not just working a 9 to 5. Like, you're working a 9 to 5, but you also investing in yourself as well. So you got both aspects. You know how you're a boss, and you also working for somebody. You working for somebody else as well. So it is different because women are putting more time into, they're investing in themselves, bro. And then when you got a dude that's, trying to strike conversation and, wanting to date and all that other shit, it's like, they already kind of analyze it, but they really just looking at everything that you do. It's like, you may have a talent that you're not even using. You feel me? They'll just be like, why you not gonna use that? Why you gonna go to business for yourself? Why you don't, it's like, it's just, they nitpick. Like, they nitpick, bro, for real.
That goes back to what Lydia said earlier in the conversation about not recognizing what she did as a talent. It was kind of just like whatever. Women be doing some amazing shit, bro, and don't even really kind of like catch on to it because it's just like, I guess you would say it's just so common for them. And then you kind of look at it and be like, bro, like, everybody can't do that. Like, everybody didn't have that skill. I even tell my old lady that or whatever. When it comes to like crafting and shit, like the way she can put stuff together, I'd be like, man, bro, everybody can't do that. I know my badass shaky hands can't do it. But she can, you feel me? And it's like efficient at the same time. So, but going back to both of y'all and dating, man, I get it though. Cause something like, it's different for, I guess you would say, the ladies of this generation compared to I guess you would say our mothers and grandmothers, to where they kind of like would put up with half of a man or somebody that treated them like shit, or that really didn't respect them or appreciate them at all. And it's like, now y'all kind of just like, hell with that. You feel me? I really just be by myself and it's all good. Like, I ain't hurting for nothing like that. So ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to settle just to say I have somebody.
Same here. And the reason I've been single for so long is because I recognize my flaws in relationship, and I know my triggers and my points and everything like that. So I don't want to take that into my next relationship. Like, let me do me first. Let me get me together. Let me build up my business so that I can say that I'm sitting on my own.
I respect.
Would you mind listing those flaws for the camera, please?
You sure you want me to list them there? Nah, I'd rather not.
I was just playing, bro. I was just playing. Don't do it. No. But look, so what are 3 things that y'all have like coming that's upcoming for your businesses, respective businesses, or also on top of that, like what are a couple of things that you may want to accomplish before the year is out?
What's your 10-year plan?
My 10-year plan is to retire at the age of 40 and stack my money. That is my
I feel that.
I got 10 more to go, so I'm hitting 30 this year. I got another 10 to get it together and retire.
Like before we get into it, like I know people say that everybody can't run a business, which is respective. I mean, which is super true. But when you kind of look at how our economy is built in America,
I'm not gonna say that, but go ahead.
Just here, let me get through that. Like when you look at how our economy in America is built, everybody kind of really says the same thing, and people who are rich kind of say the same thing. So you either start a business, you get in real estate, or you invest, all right, and then you become rich or whatever. So what kind of message would you have for, I guess you would say, people who do work 9 to 5s and who probably get discouraged when they hear messages like that or whatever, especially from business owners or whatever, and people who also work 9 to 5s as well?
Are you asking for people who may want to start a business who work a 9 to 5?
Yeah, or people who already do work a 9 to 5 and they hear that and they get discouraged from actually going forth with it.
Okay, now that you make this,
may want to start business, but they kind of contemplating, like,
right,
yeah.
With mine, like, because I cursed my supervisor out. I done walked off on a job. I'm like, I ain't got to do this. And I got to a point that with my 9 to 5, I didn't I felt like my job was just tolerating me, if that just makes sense. Like I didn't feel wanted and everything. And this was like, this is my meal. This is how I make my bills and everything. And I'm like, yeah, it's just time for me to start a business. It's time for me to just do what I got to do. I didn't know anything about running a business. I didn't know anything about an LLC. I didn't know anything about a 1099. I didn't know anything about that until I got in this game, and I'm still learning on it. So it's like, keep going. It should be hard. It'll be rough. Keep going.
I agree. Basically just what she was saying, like when I first started, it was a lot of things I didn't know, and it's a lot of things that I still do not know. But it's just like, I feel like sometimes, not even with businesses, just whatever you want to do, because I feel like it'll be women who listen to this, or it may not even be women, it may be a man who listen to this who just want to do something. But sometimes when we have like goals and ambitions, I'm gonna say me, I tend to be like, oh, I gotta have this like this, and I have to have this like this, and this has to be like this, and then when I have all of this stuff together, then I'll do it. As trying to like get things perfect, it's never gonna be perfect. You just gotta put yourself out there. So I would just tell someone who may be thinking about starting a business, who cares however many people are doing what you want to do? You are one of a kind. They ain't gonna do that shit, doing it. Who cares if you don't have everything together? Use what you have. Okay, like y'all can kind of see my background, but when I first started, I've recently moved, but when I first started, I was in my 1-bedroom apartment. I was using my dining room as my office / studio. It was little as fuck. I didn't have any space to do anything. I was still doing photo shoots in my apartment with no space. It was just like, I was just using what I had. And until things start, growing a little bit, and then I could move, I could get a bigger space, and it's like, dang, things may not come together as fast as you want them to come together, but if you just keep, things will start making sense. So it's just like, it really comes down to how bad do you want it? Do you want money? Do you want it just because you want to get some notoriety? Or are you doing this because this is what you really want to do? So, that's kind of
what Lydia started at, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm working out of my apartment. I got a 1-bedroom. It's small. Like, I'm doing what I have to do at this moment until I get where I want to be. And like, I was speaking with Des like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I'm trying to go south with my talent. I have to go south. That's just something that I want to do and everything. And at times, we tend to be our worst enemy, and we do not know that at times. And I tell people, like, you your worst enemy. If you do something, spend on it, no matter what. Just keep going. And I've had my nights like, damn, is this what I really want to do? I done invested all this money into it. I done sit here and bought all these products, all the equipment, everything. So it's like, why not keep going? Because eventually it's gonna pay off for me. Last week I made $300 in a day, just off the strength of facials and Brazilian wax. And I'm, damn, okay, this all I gotta do. Let me keep going.
Yeah, I mean that's real. And what you said earlier, Lydia, that about when you was basically going in and just kind of giving your statement, and you made that comment about maybe women and men, because at the end of the day, I mean anyone can start a business, and everybody pretty much had those same struggles, same fears, something that's holding them back. Like even myself, like I just started my whole catering venture this weekend, and to my surprise, the 2 days I did, I sold out. Was I scared? For the most part, like I said, I had an ex that had her own business, and she used to be on my ass about that. Like, you got a talent for cooking, why you gonna do it? And for the longest, I was scared. Like, are you gonna like the food? Like, I'm gonna get a bad review. Like, you feel me? Like, am I gonna sell out? Or am I gonna be able to make a profit? And at the end of the day, you just gotta go with your move. And you can't really just let those fears hold you back. Because one thing about me is before I die, like I want to accomplish a lot of shit, and I would hate for that to be one thing that I regretted. Like, damn, what could I have done if I would have just went with my move, just stuck with my guns, just did it, just say fuck it.
You gotta hop in that water, man.
And that's why I said sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
Also, just a quick note for the people at home: is it a kitchen or is it really a home office? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That might be something that you can really just think about. You feel me? If you don't have that big office space, you got a kitchen table, man. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Wait, man, I'm over here recording on my kids' table right now.
Period. I'll be making my
In the
products in my
kitchen right
kitchen.
now. In my kitchen right now.
Man, what?
Exactly.
But back to the previous question I asked, and we got out before we got off track. But like, what is something that you want to accomplish this year for your business?
I said, man.
Who?
She did. Okay.
I said I did, man.
Okay.
So currently, as we talked about right now, I kind of just sell like my vintage findings or whatever. And I sell also some of my upcycle pieces, like things that I've redesigned or that I created myself. But my shop, I have a big overall dream that I have told literally no one, but I'm slowly working towards my overall goal. So I can't say too much, but over the course of the next 3 months, I am going to be integrating other pieces that reflect my sense of style into my shop. So it won't just be strictly vintage. Like I want, when I think about the way I dress, I love vintage clothes. I love designer clothes. I love good quality clothing. I like fast fashion. I like cheap clothes. Like I'll wear anything. I don't care about, I just like clothes, and I like accessories, and I like to make things. So I'm going to slowly start integrating little more and more pieces to make my shop more, I guess, reflective of me.
Shit, I'm excited for you. Shit.
Another one of mine is like the products that I am making. Like I do want to see them in stores eventually later down the line.
Oh, so what kind of products like do you make? Like, are they just like natural?
Yeah. The serum that I'm making, like I critique that to the fullest, so I can make it off my hand and just go with it. It's more so like a moisturizer. That's why my face is like this,
Your
because
skin
that's what I
looks
use.
I'm about to
good.
say that's great advertising right there.
Nah, for real.
Yes,
It definitely is.
amazing.
This is actually it.
Swankle and glisten. For real.
It's a serum that I'm making, which like I said, I can make it off the back of my head now because I done went through my trials and tribulations. And right now I'm actually making a body soap out of natural products as well. So I just want to stick with the natural products because a lot of people with these products that we use, and we don't know the chemicals that's in it. We don't know the side effects that's in it. And like I've done my research on it. Dove, prime example, it has a high alkaline that strips your skin. If you ever use Dove on your face and you just hopped out the shower and you're like, damn, why my skin so ashy? Or like, why is it dry? It's a high alkaline. It's a chemical that strips like the first layer of your skin, which is the epidermis. A lot of people don't know that. I learned that. So that's what I'm working on. So all of the products that I wanted to be natural, and I wanted to be for the men and for the women as well.
You better put that tuition money.
Yes.
The thing is, have to pay out of pocket.
For real.
But it's an investment, a good investment.
You feel me? At the end of the day,
It definitely is.
That's interesting about Dove, son, cause I used it. I just thought I was an ass shade.
Man, what I thought Dove was good soap.
I just thought I was an ass shade.
Dove was good soap.
Exactly. Stop using it on your face. It's not for your face. It's for the body, not the face at all. Like, and then a lot of people, you got the first thing that you see in the shower and you just put it all over your body, not knowing what it is. And people do that. You have to switch out your towels. You have to switch out your pillowcases and all that because you have dry skin, you have dead skin cells, and they just sit there. And then some people go a couple of days without washing their face, and you wash it, you like, damn, why is it like this? People don't be knowing what's going on.
That sounds something trifling, bro.
Oh man, it do sound.
You would be surprised though. And my teacher, she was like, "You only use water on your face." I'm like, "Yeah, what's wrong with water?" She gave me the whole rundown of just using water. I'm like, I never knew that. I walked around thinking that I had the perfect skin and everything. I'm like, I ain't got no breakouts and nothing. Yeah, and I got knowledgeable of it. So I do a facial on myself every other day, or I try to do it like once in the morning, once in the night, and I'm loving it.
You know what? One thing, I mean, just to kind of add something to your business, you could teach a class too. OnlyFans, teach a class.
Mhm.
People pay for that shit. That type of knowledge, people pay for that shit.
They do, but I'm kind of skeptical about it. Maybe down the line, but I'm not gonna turn the idea down.
Especially since the beauty industry is gonna do nothing but increase, you know,
Yep.
revenue in the next,
Mhm.
you know, forever. Because people are gonna always want to look good.
Nah, for real,
Exactly.
they putting little plungers on their ass to make their ass.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know.
They doing dermaplaning, microneedling, all of that. Like I said, when I got in this field, I didn't know anything of it, and I'm okay. So
Yeah, the plunge on the ass shit crazy, bro. Because I only saw that in TV.
you would be surprised where that machine. You would be surprised where that machine go.
Boy, I see that shit. I said, oh hell no.
Got your
Oh
shit.
my
Got
God.
your
So you
shit
gotta-
looking like kneecaps, bro.
So you gotta find the ones the before and after. You be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is
What's the
that?
difference?
Y'all is reckless, bro.
All I see is-
Got a red baboon ass.
that's it. That's all I see.
You trying to be low. You trying to be cheap. You look. You can't bullshit.
All I see is your
pay
ass
the.
is irritated.
Oh, it is what it is.
Your booty
For real.
cheek is irritated as fuck right now. Mad as shit at you. Yeah.
For real. But we gonna leave that where it's at, man. Good talk for real. Ladies, appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Really, really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because both y'all came through, dropped some gems, showed some love, and we gonna be forever grateful of that.
Nah, for real.
I mean, man. Any last comments that you want to get to the people at home?
Yeah, last comments. Tell the people how they can get in touch with you. You know, websites, anything that you can leave.
Where can the people at home watch you grow?
Okay. You can go ahead.
Mine is Instagram, which is Purely Balanced Aesthetics. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. My Twitter is my personal Twitter.
Okay, and you can also find me on Instagram. The best place to find me is really on my business Instagram. So looks like Lid. And from there, in my link, I have a link in my bio for you to go and visit my Etsy shop, and you can find all of my personal findings from there.
Also, y'all can follow at the Candy Shop here on Instagram. All right, we currently got a raffle going. All right, so y'all tap into that for my people at home.
Yeah, and if you in the Dallas area, get at your boy for them fire ass supper plates. Yeah.
Want this crawfish dip though? I'm just
My boy
saying.
selling
Des.
fish and pasta over there, man. It's over there hitting.
I'm just saying, what's up with this dip though, Des?
I got you, son. Whenever you come down here, I got you.
You know you could FedEx and Express it, right?
Boy, you gonna be sick as fuck trying to eat that.
Spoil that cheese. But for real, ladies, appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Des, you got one more thing left for the people at home?
Man, I ain't got much though, man. But Mike, what we tell the people every night?
Man, don't let them hoes outdo you.
Don't let them hoes outdo you.
It's period, Pooh.